Serenity Prayer, which can be found on page 1. God,
Grant us serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just as for today.
Please silence all electronic and digital devices. I know that we do have some people here that's never been to a NarAnon group before, I believe. Is that correct? Awesome. Okay. So if you could please introduce yourself by first name only, and we'll go around the room and introduce ourselves to welcome you.
Carolyn.
Hey,
Hey, Carolyn. Hey, Kim. Hey,
I'm
Chad.
I'm Sandy.
Hey, Sandy.
I'm Joyce.
Hi,
Joyce.
I'm Jamie. Hi,
Jamie. I'm Sharon.
Hi,
Hey, Sharon.
Ruth. Hi,
Hey, Ruth.
I'm Gus.
Hi,
Hey, Gus. I'm Denise.
Hi, Denise.
I'm Beth.
Hey, Beth.
I'm Christy.
Hi,
Hey, Christy.
I'm Rose.
Hey, Rose.
I'm Juliet.
Hey, Juliet.
Thank you for giving me your names. Okay, if we could please have someone read the 12 steps. They can be found on page 7.
Hi, I'm Sharon.
Hi,
Sharon. 12 steps. Step 1, we admitted we were powerless over the addict, that our lives had become unmanageable. Step 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Step 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. Step 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Step 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. Step 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. Step 7, humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. Step 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Step 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. Step 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Step 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. Step 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to others and to practice these principles in all our affairs.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Yeah, Kevin could do it.
This is bigger print.
Yeah, if you could read the 12 traditions on page 8.
All right, the 12 traditions of NarAnon family groups. Our group experience suggests that the unity of the NarAnon family groups depends upon our adherence to these traditions. Our common welfare should come first. Personal progress with the greatest number depends on unity. For our group purposes, there is but one authority, letting God as He may express Himself in His conscience. Our leaders are the trusted servants who do not govern. The relatives of addicts can gather for mutual aid and call up themselves a NarAnon family group, provided that as a group they have no affiliation. The only requirement for membership is that there be a problem, addiction, or a crime. Each group should be autonomous, except in matters affecting other NarAnon family groups, or NA as a whole. Each NarAnon family group has but one purpose: to help families of addicts. Do this by practicing the 12 steps of NarAnon, by encouraging and understanding our addicted relatives, and by welcoming and giving comfort to families of addicts. Our family groups ought never endorse, finance, or lend our name to any outside enterprise. Thus problems of money, property, and prestige to hurt us from our private spiritual aim. Although a separate entity, we should always cooperate with narcotics anonymous. Every group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. NarAnon 12-step work should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. Our groups, as such, ought never be organized, but we may create service boards or committees directly responsible for those we serve. The NarAnon family groups have no opinion on outside issues, hence our name ought never be drawn in public controversy. Public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, films, internet, and other forms of mass media. We need to guard with special care the anonymity of all NA members. Anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all our traditions, ever reminding us to place principles above personalities.
Thank you, Kevin. If someone could please read Keeping Our Meetings Healthy, which can be found on page 12 of the Blue Book.
Hello, I'm Rose.
Rose.
Keeping our meetings healthy. To ensure the success of our meetings in solving our common problems, we must recognize and avoid 3 destructive forces that can create dissension and ultimately destroy the group. The first destructive force is the discussion of any religious denomination. Addiction respects no particular religion. Therefore, our program must be designed to help us regardless of our various beliefs. Let us not defeat our purpose by discussing any particular denomination. The second destructive force is gossip. We are here to help ourselves and others by sharing our experience, strength, and hope, while keeping the focus on ourselves. Gossip about others, including the addict, will defeat our purpose. We know that nobody wants to deliberately tear down the group or its principles. The third destructive force is dictatorship. Our leaders are but trusted servants. They do not govern. We do not give advice. We suggest by telling how we solve similar problems through our experiences. The very essence of NarAnon is that the whole program is merely suggestive. We have no creed, charges, obligations, or anything that would tend to hinder you. Your progress can be made in your own time and in your own way. We merely invite your attendance in a common cause. Okay, do you want me to read that part? That's usually where ours stop. Okay. An important tool in our meetings is NarAnon conference-approved literature, written by and for our fellowship and approved at our World Service Conference. It is an expression of NarAnon principles and the experience, strength, and hope of our members. Using call ensures members are hearing the same message no matter where they attend a meeting. This unites our members and avoids affiliation with outside causes in accordance with our traditions.
Thanks, Rose.
If someone could please read Just for Today, which can be found on page 15 of the Blue Book.
Just for today, I will try to live through this day only and not tackle my whole life problem at once. I can do something for 12 hours that would appall me if I felt I had to keep it up for a lifetime. Just for today, I will be happy. This assumes to be true what Abraham Lincoln said. Most folks are as happy as they make up their minds to be. Just for today, I would adjust myself to what it is and not try to adjust everything to my own desires. I will take my luck as it comes and fit myself to it. Just for today, I will try to strengthen my mind. I will study. I will learn something useful. I will not be a mental loafer. I will read something that requires effort, thought, and concentration. Just for today, I will exercise my soul in 3 ways. I will do somebody a good turn and not get found out. If anybody knows of it, it will not count. I will do at least 2 things I don't want to do just for exercise. I will not show anyone that my feelings are hurt. They may be hurt, but today I will not show it. Just for today, I will be agreeable. I will look as well as I can. Dress becomingly, talk low, act courteously, criticize not one bit, not find fault with anything, and not try to improve or regulate anybody but myself. Just for today, I will have a program. I may not follow it exactly, but I will have it. I will save myself from 2 pests, hurry and indecision. Just for today, I will have a quiet half hour all by myself and relax. During this half hour, sometime I will try to get a better perspective of my life. Just for today, I will be unafraid. Especially, I will not be afraid to enjoy what is beautiful and to believe that as I give to the world, so the world will give to me.
Thank you. We And I'm supposed to ask for a secretary's report, and I'm the secretary at Oxford, and I don't have anything to report. And as this is essentially a mock meeting, and we have several newcomers, we will not be passing the basket around. Anything you hear tonight is strictly our own opinion. The principles of NarAnon are found in our 12 steps and 12 traditions. If a member says something here you cannot accept, remember that he or she is speaking from their own experience. They are not speaking for NarAnon. When you leave our meeting, take home those thoughts that will be most helpful to you. Forget those you feel will not be helpful and keep coming back. We ask that you speak only as a member of NarAnon unless you are invited as a speaker from NA. In NarAnon meetings, we do not engage in crosstalk. Personal progress for the greatest number depends on unity. Therefore, we take turns, sharing our own experience, strength, and hope. We do not interrupt each other or engage in dialogue. We do not put the spotlight on just one member, and we do not give advice, offer solutions, or try to rescue one another. By patiently listening, we show respect for each other and concern for the common welfare of the group. Loving interchange can occur outside the meeting time through one-on-one or group conversations, shared meals, email, telephone, and sponsorship. So for today, our topic is going to be slogans. It's going to be presented by Gus. And as I mentioned in our previous meeting, the more you come to meetings, you'll notice that people tend to repeat certain phrases. And that's because it gives us great comfort in times of great stress. So with that, here's
Thank
Gus.
you. My name is Gus.
Thank
You
you.
guys.
I'm going to pass these around. This is the guts of my topic, and so that you won't have to tell people I don't remember anything he said. You may look at it and read it to refresh yourself on what I said. In addition to the NarAnon slogan, there also I put in a few what they call NarAnon wisdom sharing, and we may go over some of those too. And the last page, I've given you 2 websites where I go to a lot to look up stuff about the slogans, and it's basically where this came from. But I'm going to go over a few selected programs, and I'm going to leave some time at the end where we can share about our favorite slogans. Or if you just really can't wait, raise your hand, we'll talk about it right there. Okay? My favorite slogan is the 3 C's. For me, with those is I didn't cause it, I can't control it, and I can't cure it. When we first discovered we had an addict, we were, like everybody else, we were really down, and first thing comes to mind is, what did I do wrong to cause this? Or, what can I do to fix this? And what can I do to control my addict to keep him from doing stuff? Well, the answer is, I didn't cause it, and I can't control it, and I can't cure it. So, knowing that, I felt a whole lot better. So it's a new place to start with, from figuring how it's going to fix the addict, and found out, well, NarAnon is not about the addict, it's about me, it's about fixing me, because underlying things involve the addict, of course, all the time, they're with us, but we need to take care of ourselves too. We can't just give up everything for the addicts. So with that, we'll get into a few of these. I want to talk about the second one, but for the grace of God. This slogan can help us be more compassionate with our addicted loved one. It can help us avoid being so impatient, criticizing, resentful, and vindictive, which will hurt us as well as others. but for the grace of God, we might have been afflicted by this sickness. So, a lot of these just pretty much speak for themselves, and you'll notice a lot of these slogans, you've heard them before. Before you had an addict or anything else, a lot of these slogans apply to a lot of different things. The second one I want to talk about is first things first. This slogan helps us to set reasonable priorities and to keep a realistic perspective. Many of our confusions and frustrations are due to our failure to deal with tasks and problems in the order of their importance. It takes discipline to put aside the things we'd rather do and attend to those first importance. And probably one of the most popular ones and widely used, I know my addict uses it all the time, it's just for today. Of course, we read some stuff about that a few minutes ago. It said, things are more manageable when we deal with and live in the present. Things that seem way too difficult to manage long term may seem more manageable if we deal with them just for today. We can move forward in small steps rather than being overwhelmed by trying to change everything at one time. And use that one a lot. The next one we'll talk about is let it begin with me. Now, this slogan reminds us that we have to be reasonable in our own actions, responsible for our own actions. The only changes we can make center around us. We need to take action to begin these changes instead of waiting for others to change or to meet our needs. In other words, the world's not going to change and adapt to us. We're going to have to make some serious changes too. One day at a time. This is the most important day of your life. This slogan provides a practical approach to challenges and fears. We focus our energies on dealing productively with today, and we give up worrying about a future we cannot predict or control and about a past we cannot change. It helps us break overwhelmingly tasks into manageable steps. We can't spend too much time planning for what we're going to do in the future. We just have to deal with what we have today and deal with these things one day at a time and one crisis at a time, and whatever we have to do. Next one I want to talk about is live and let live. To get the most out of your life, don't judge or criticize others or concern yourself with what they do. While we are entitled to our own view of things, we have no right to inflict it on someone else. Tolerance can apply to the quality of our daily lives. Resentments and self-pity diminish our capacity to live a happy life. No pity parties. Just, just keep on going. Let go and let God. You can't fix everything that's wrong with the world or with your family and friends. Let it go. God can't do His work if you're standing in the way. This slogan helps us to trust that power greater than ourselves will help us when the time is right. We just have to change who's in control. God can control things when we get out of the way and let Him. Progress, not perfection. One effect that the disease of addiction has had on many of us is that we've become perfectionists. We feel that only if we could be a better spouse, parent, sibling, or friend, then perhaps the addict we love will stop using. As we work the Nar-Anon program, we realize that we cannot control ourselves, let alone their using. We can change how we react. We can focus on our own behavior, and we can make progress in our own recovery. So, an attitude of gratitude. We often don't have control over our circumstances, but we are all in charge of our attitude. We choose how we wish to respond to the good things that happen, the bad events, and all of those in between. Choose to focus on the positive and turn away from the negative in life. Believe in the world of gratitude and practice it. It's a wonderful thing. This is probably my favorite, other than the 3 C's. Detach with love. As we attempt to deal with all the issues created by active addiction, we may find that resentments toward our loved ones begin to build. Sometimes we feel that we alone are carrying the burden. By listening to other NarAnon members share their stories, we can learn to lovingly detach from issues that are not of our making. We learn to let the addicts make their own decisions and to let them deal with the consequences of those decisions. Those are the slogans that I wanted to share. We'd open it up this time for anybody that wants to have any comments on them or want to share their particular slogan. It may not be on here. It's just
I'm Juliet.
Juliet.
On the next page at the very bottom, or the selected NarAnon listen hearing page. One of my favorite phrases is, if you think handling everything is too much, try letting go.
yeah.
And I know that's so much easier said than done, but that goes hand in hand with live and let God. We're not in control. We'd like to think that we are, but that's what our higher power is for. And oftentimes we're holding on so tightly that it causes us a great deal of stress. That's why that slogan is one of my favorites.
Yeah. Well, let me go ahead and read the wisdom sharing stuff. That's the next to last page. I picked out a few of these, and they're all good. What strikes to my heart may not strike to yours. Changes only happen when the pain of holding on is greater than the fear of letting go. The only difference between stumbling blocks and stepping stones is how we use them. I cannot do a thing about what I did, only about what I do next. If you want serenity, put your higher power between you and your problem. Life is like an onion. You peel it one layer at a time, and sometimes you cry. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Keep in mind that even your worst day only has 24 hours. Some of them really, really seem longer than that. Recovery is not an event, it's a process. That's when our addict was admitted to recovery. It was our first experience with this, and we thought, well, they say it's a 90-day program, so you'll be in here 90 days. They'll cure you, you'll go home, and then life will be sweet ever after. Didn't know anything was expected of me other than just write the check and pay for, our addict being there. The way we learned that there was something we needed to do was where our addict was. 2 days a week there were visitor days. Okay, you can see your addict for an hour. But in order to see your addict for an hour, you had to go to a meeting the hour before and listen to those people preach at you. Which is what we thought, and I thought, well, we really want to see our attic. So we went in there, and they started going over some of that stuff, and it got a little bit clearer each time about what they were talking about. And that's where the core was struck with me about the 3 C's, and that forever changed my life. And so then they tell you that a really small percentage of people that don't backslide at least once. And fortunately, we have not had to experience that with our addict. We are very fortunate. And we became acquainted with a lot of people that he was in therapy with, and really sweet, nice people. You fall in love with them, and then sometimes you can tell from one week to the next that they're not quite the same as they were, the week before, and then you find out that they've started using. It breaks your heart. Literally breaks your heart. And when our son was involved, he didn't have a car. He had a car, but he couldn't drive it for a while. So, but they wanted to go to a lot of different meetings. So my wife and I turned out to be the chauffeurs. Everybody we could pack in our car, we'd take to meetings because they like to go to a lot of different meetings. And these were Al-Anon meetings at the time. That's before we had a Nar-Anon group in this area. So we got to know a lot of those people, and they would come and go. New ones come in and old ones go away. Fortunately, some of them graduated and went on. But it really is a process, and it's an ongoing process, and we try to give back some. We don't give back near what we should from what we've been given. And that's about all I have. I'm saying that. So I'll open it up again for any if you want to share. You all right to start our sharing time now? Okay. Anything you want to share or talk about? You're one of the best parts of NarAnon for me. Let me tell you this. Our NarAnon meeting started last Halloween. Okay. My wife and I showed up with the woman that put all this together, Becky, and we were at the. I guess we were the original 3 members. And I asked her, I said, well, why are we meeting on Halloween? Nobody's coming. She said, we always meet. Whenever our scheduled meeting is, whatever it is, we always meet. So we have found in 2.5, almost 3 years that we've had an addict that no matter what day his meeting falls on, he goes. If it's Christmas, so be it. If it's New Year's, so be it. If it's any other day, so be it. It's important, and he goes. So, I guess we get a little jealous or envious or whatever that, well, why can't you go to family meetings with us like everybody else's children? Going off to meetings here and meetings there. And he says, I'm just trying to help people. I'm Gus.
Thanks, Gus. I'm Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
One of the things, and I thought that my very clever son made this up, but I didn't realize that NA uses and NarAnon uses the same thing. He didn't take credit for it. I just thought he did.
Yeah.
I was watching his Facebook, and somebody was whining about something, and he said, his response was, "Nothing changes if nothing changes." And I thought, what I thought that meant was he was just kind of saying, that's just the way it is. And then finally, through this, I realized that means if I don't change something about me, then nothing else is going to change. So that's my favorite one. If nothing changes, nothing changes. It doesn't mean it is what it is. It means you have to change something in order for something to change. So,
Some of these are so simple that we look at them and we try to go into great detail and try to figure out what they mean. Well, they mean what they say. In most cases, they mean exactly what they say. No hidden meanings. They're just pure and simple. Something that an addict can use or a NarAnon member can use to help. That's all.
I'm Rose.
Hey, Rose.
The slogans are wonderful and life-saving. However, and they are simple. They're absolutely correct. They are simple. The application of it is where the difference is. That's where we need each other
It is.
to help us to apply what we know to what we feel.
thanks, Rose.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Hey, Jamie.
Some of you guys weren't here when I shared last meeting, and I went to lunch and talked to my husband, and with everything that's been with my brother, and my husband is actually an addict who's in recovery 2 years, 4 months. Who my father and brother, and now my brother again. But anyway, it's crazy because I told him, I said, I shared. And we talked about last night, me sitting at the table and just praying and reading my book and trying to just let go and let God. Please let go and let God and detach with love. Because that's what I just keep thinking of. Because I think of my mother, how my father was an addict. Of course, he's deceased now, but she's struggling. I wanted her to come to the meetings because although I've been in the program a couple of months, I've got the NarAnon family book I read every day, all the time. It's like torn up. You would think that I've been in the program for years. And she's struggling because she doesn't understand that it's a disease. And it's helping me, with the let go and let God and detach with love. It's really, I keep thinking about this, and I don't know all these slogans, and these are the two that I'm very familiar with, and I keep, thinking about. And during lunch, my sister calls me, and I didn't want to answer. I said, "This is why I wanted to get away from town." I said, "I don't want to be bothered." Well, then my daughter calls and says, "Call Candace. Grandma just attacked her, and because of my brother's addiction, it's affected the entire family, and it's killing me because I love my family and I want so bad for him to get better, and I know I can't do anything. I just have to leave it up to God. But I know I can still love him, and I just want my mom to see that." That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
I'm good again.
There you go.
My dad was an alcoholic. I never knew him as not being an alcoholic from the day I was in this world to the day he left this world. He was an alcoholic. And I never knew he was suffering from a sickness. I thought he was just a bad, bad person. It wasn't until I discovered I had an addict of my own that I discovered it was a sickness. And even then, the first time I was told it was a sickness, I wasn't sure I believed it. I thought, that's a cop-out. You know, that's just an easy way out to say, give everything I do, I'm sick. You know. But as I could look back, it might not have made any difference, you know, but it might have made a difference if I had known he was sick. All we wanted to do was hide his whiskey. That didn't solve anything. That did not solve anything, you know. So it took me almost 70 years to learn that lesson. But I learned it. That's all I have.
Thanks, Gus.
I'm Denise. There's, in the back of our search book, there's slogans, and there's some meditations. Maybe we could read a meditation and see what the sesh has to say. I'll kick off with the first one, page 60, February 29th, is One Day at a Time. It says, I found the slogans to be of great help during the early days of my recovery in Nar-Anon. The slogans gave me hope and comfort, especially one day at a time. Taking one day at a time was a new concept for me because I had been a worrier all my life. I even thought that if I failed to worry, bad things would happen. I felt such fear and despair that I could not live in the present. My habits of dwelling on the past and worrying about the future made my life unmanageable. In the backyard one day, I decided to try this new one day at a time concept. I began walking, and with each step, I meditated on one step at a time, one day at a time. I concentrated on my feet, on the ground, and then on my surroundings. I was able to enjoy the moment. The past was gone. The future was of no concern. Only this moment was present, and with it came calmness. Thought for today. There are times when I slip back into my old worrying behavior. I bring myself back to the present by concentrating on one day at a time and one moment at a time. I can choose not to worry. It gives me such a feeling of peace to know that I am capable of living in the moment. I got the blues thinking of the future, so I left off and made some marmalade. It's amazing how it cheers one up to shred oranges and scrub the floor. D.H. Lawrence. I'll share that for exercise I use yoga, and I go to a yoga class, and it's amazing. Focusing on your breath, focusing on your practice. For a whole hour, I can go and not think of anything but what I'm actually doing, and that's about the only place I can really do that. And it's amazing. I guess the physical activity along with the mental challenge and everything really helps me to see how that practice can really not just affect me physically, but how it really does affect me mentally. I'm not as successful at doing that in other places, but that shows me that it can be done, and it's been a good challenge for me. And with that, I'll pass.
Rose.
Hey, Rose.
For me, whatever I'm doing, I'm entirely focused on. And my family can tell you, if mom is not looking at you, my wife is not looking at you, she is not with you. And that comes to doing the dishes, folding the laundry, mopping the floor, whatever I'm doing, I'm in that moment. And I learned that skill set as a child growing up in an alcoholic family because I was the only child. So that was the only escape I had from my environment, was to stay focused on what I was doing. Now, which is a good skill, but the flip side of that, I also developed perfectionistic tendencies. So that's where a good skill set kind of went overboard. So that's something I've got to continue to look at. But yes, staying focused in that moment, I don't think about anything else. If I'm reading a book, if someone doesn't come up, tap me on the shoulder and get my attention, I'm not going to hear a thing I say. I've heard some guys talk about mowing their yard. For them, that's their meditation. You know, they can put on their little earmuffs and get on that riding lawnmower and just go. And the vibration and the constant drone of the engine is calming. So each of us, and what this is called is mindful awareness. To be present in that moment, and nothing else interests. It's awesome. I love it. Anyway, that's all I got. That's what helps me.
Thanks for sharing.
Does anyone else have a burning desire to share at this time? Well, in the beginning, I inadvertently skipped our Newcomers Welcome, so I'm going to go ahead and read that now. Apologies. The Newcomers Welcome can be found on page 3 of the Blue Book. The Nar-Anon family group is primarily for you who know or have known a feeling of desperation concerning the addiction problem of someone very near to you. We have traveled that unhappy road too and found the answer with serenity and peace of mind. When you come into the family group, you are no longer alone, but among true friends who understand your problem as few others could. We will respect your confidence and anonymity, as we know you will respect ours. We hope to give you the assurance that no situation is too difficult and no unhappiness is too great to be overcome. Our program, which is not a religious one but a spiritual way of life, is based on the 12 steps of Nar-Anon. We have found that the working of these steps will bring the solution to practically any problem. We urge you to take this program and its 12 steps seriously. It has been as helpful to us as the Narcotics Anonymous program is to the addict. We only ask for the wisdom and courage to see ourselves as we really are, to do something about ourselves with the help of a higher power as we understand this, and for the grace to release our addicts with love and cease trying to change them. Keep an open mind and attend as many meetings as possible. Feel free to share during the meeting. You may ask questions after the meeting. You will soon make new friends and will feel very much part of the group. With the understanding that addiction is a disease and the realization that we are powerless over it, as well as over other people's lives, we are ready to do something useful and constructive with our own. Then and only then can we be of any help to others. As this is an anonymous program, we ask all members and visitors to respect our anonymity. The stories you heard were told in confidence and should not be repeated outside. They are told so that we might better understand this program and ourselves, and to give encouragement and help to the new members. After a moment of silence, if we could again say the Serenity Prayer to close our meeting.
Grant us serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, just for today.
Thank you all so much. Julie.
Ask It basket?
What's that from?
Yes, we have a, if y'all want to participate, we have some sheets of paper.
Oh, we
To
just
write a
put
question.
You can write a question. Sort of pass these around. And we don't have time, I don't know. I don't know what the time constraints are on us.
What was it, 3 to 4?
Are y'all doing your own Ask It basket? Or your own NarAnon Ask It basket? Gotcha. Because we have an Ask It basket going over there too. I didn't know if that's what that was.
I don't know what that is.
We don't need
So like usually an Ask It basket, I've done a lot of these. You just ask a question,
Write it down.
write it down, fold it up. It's about recovery. Just anything you'd like to know about.
Yeah, we're gonna let you ask anything you want to about NarAnon. Yeah. What is NarAnon? What can it do for me?
How does it relate to my
Yeah, how does it
addict?
relate to you? We got some pens here if y'all wanna pass them around, or
Those are cool pens.
they got little tips on you. You have to rake those off. Or you'll-
Okay, cool.
everybody can have one. They're just sitting in there.
I want a
These
blue one.
were
I
on
want a
the-
blue
These were on
one.
the Walmart clearance aisle a couple years
Those are
ago.
so cute. I like them.
And they run pretty good.
Well,
I think I guess,
Be careful when you pull that little thing off.
This is why we keep them nice things.
I think I gave something like 77 cents.
Yeah, hers tore all to pieces.
Wow.
Yours did?
I pulled the little rubber thing off, and when I did, it popped back up in it and
Wow.
destroyed it.
Oh, yeah.
We're supposed to just.
I gotta go here and do a workshop.
We're going to,
Stick around for the meeting.
when we get through, I'm going to read them, and then some of the experts can answer them.
Only good evening.